All right. Good morning. Sorry, adjusting this thing. It's morning here, anyways. Um, Last night I was doing some analysis at TSN on Conor McGregor's open workout. And while in the cab home, Instagram starts melting down, going ballistic because there's footage of McGregor sparring with Paulie Malignaggi. I thought I would throw some quick thoughts. Couple things very quickly. If anybody has the technology to just rip that and put it in slow motion or double it, do it a couple of times, and throw it onto an MP4, and then tell me in the notes below, I will give you my email. It's askrobinblack@gmail.com. If you email me MP4s of that, tomorrow morning Mark and I will do some a little more technical breakdown of it. Okay, so the two pieces of footage of Conor McGregor dropping Paulie. We'll talk about it in a second in a little more detail. But if you can take those two pieces, put them on MP4, maybe put a couple versions or put it in slow motion, whatever you want. I will break that down tomorrow, Sunday, with Mark in a little more detail. I'm not good with technology, and a lot of you guys are. And of course, we'll pimp out your Instagram or Twitter or your business or whatever you got. Sorry, I'm adjusting this thing. I'm not good at that either. Okay, so we look at this footage. It's early morning. Actually, I don't know what time it is. I woke up kind of excited to think about this. Let's just talk about how it exists. When you train, especially at a high level, you film it. There's a lot of reasons to do that. The main being to go back and examine it, look what you did well, look what you didn't do well, etc., etc. That's why it was filmed. How it's out now feels a little bit planned. That Conor McGregor's team had just sort of a lesser important guy put out the old photo, knowing that Paulie would spaz out. When Paulie spazzed out, they would invite this. Oh, that didn't happen. There shouldn't have been that. I got screwed over. Conor whimpers like a... Once he starts talking crazy, angry shit, this becomes fair game. So here it is. So we look at the footage. Couple things very quickly. It is little moments in time. They had 48 minutes of sparring together, and we have only a few small moments to look at. And of course, they've been carefully selected because they were Conor's team's minutes. Now, if they were Paulie's team's minutes, they would be whatever Paulie's good moments. Hey, to Korea. A little hello from Korea there. Love my Korean friends and fans, man. I love Korea. So we know that. We know that they were carefully selected, but they cannot be ignored. Those are real moments that happened, and when they sparred. The straight left of Conor, boom, sweat, paw, straight left in that wide open one. And you notice there was a number of things that he did, things that he does, we expect him to do. Popping from the outside, gets inside, he's roughing him up inside. Also, you notice immediately he takes inside control of the bicep in there as he's tapping the shots. Bicep control is a much more of an MMA inside control game. Inside bicep control. There's going to be a lot of little things that really exist in the art of fighting that are slightly different than boxing. Okay? I'm going to digress for a moment here. I was working at TSN with a boxing expert, and he was like, didn't look like boxing at all. Nothing there looked like boxing. It looked like a martial artist trying to box. It's not boxing. Fuck. This conversation started at day one. Oh, it's boxing. He has to box. He doesn't have to do what you call boxing. He just has to fight with two hands in a ring in the same rounds with the same rules. That doesn't mean he has to box in the way that you think of boxing. People don't understand that. Something I've been trying to think of is different ways to express this idea. And yesterday on Twitter and Instagram, I tried to use a simple analogy. He's not trying to invent a better guitar. He's trying to invent's the wrong word, sorry. He's not trying to create a better guitar. He's trying to create something better than a guitar. And people's answers are like, yeah, but the rules say you have to use a guitar. No, they don't. The rules say you have to use a six-stringed instrument. The rules say that you have to play a stringed instrument in these particular ways, okay? So he's not boxing. Sadly, that word, we misuse words in our language all the time. That word means this collection of rules in this environment. people have taken it to mean the stuff we see Floyd doing. That's not boxing. That's not boxing. It must be this way. Boxing is anything within this particular rule set that involves hands, and extreme specialization breeds weakness. And Floyd Mayweather and all other boxers of the top level are extremely specialized, and in doing so they become more and more and more hyper specialized, so there's all this other stuff that could happen outside of their specialization that they're unfamiliar with, and that's how you try to beat them. So Conor, in that inside bicep control, roughing him up inside. Randy Couture 10 years ago would call it dirty boxing. Some people still call it that. Same thing. If we limit that word, now we don't really examine what it is. This examination of the word boxing is the perfect thing to sum up how our language limits our imagination. So inside bicep control comes back out, and the distance with which he expresses that straight left hand that just cracks. Paulie, that's a fighting distance. That's a kickboxing distance. That's a mixed martial arts distance. A lot of boxers would fade inside, and there's a lot of rules in boxing, including don't overextend, put your back foot, the ball of your back foot solidly on the ground. Don't pop up and wait onto your front foot with your back foot light. That's wrong. Because that was wrong, people haven't done it. And because people haven't done it, your sparring partners don't do it. And because your sparring partners don't do it, you're unfamiliar with it. That's why Paulie got cracked so clean with such a simple straight left from so far out, is nobody throws a straight left like that. And I have friends that know other sports very well. And they talk about Steph Curry in basketball, so Americans in particular. And the way it's been explained to me is he takes three-point shots that nobody takes. Why does nobody take them? Because they're low percentage. Why are they low percentage? Because he can't really hit them very well from there. So what did he do? He went, as I've been told, I may be completely bastardizing this, but this is my understanding. He just trained that forever until he got really good at it. You don't do it because it's a waste of time, because it doesn't work. Yeah, well, if it's a waste of time and it doesn't work, that means people aren't good at defending against it. I'm going to get really good at it. That's what McGregor's doing. That's what fighting is. Boxing, it must be like this, and make sure your foot here and always have your elbow here and never this and always that. That's hyper specialization, and that breeds weakness. And that's why you see these moments of Conor McGregor landing things that seem simple on a former world champion. Because they've been trained in different ways, and they operate in different ways, and they think in different ways. So carefully selected footage, yes, but real. And then the knockdown, of course, also on that one, the straight left lands. And again, if you send me an MP4, if you can hook me up, askrobinblack@gmail.com. The straight left lands, and then Paulie spins around, and as McGregor is turning, he puts his weight onto the front right foot. And again, that wrong distribution of weight, wrong according to the rules of boxing, is why he lands that second left because he's able to pivot, because he works so heavily on his front leg, which can be a problem in MMA if you kick it a lot. But you can't kick it in boxing, so he can do it at will. Boom, lands a straight left. Heavy on the right foot, almost all his weight forward on the right foot. Incorrect, according to boxing. And then as Paulie fades out, bam, pivots off. It's still heavy on that leg. The reason he's able to land is because of that. Okay, this is real. This is exactly what we were expecting. This is what we've been talking about, disruption. This is what we've been talking about, the things, all the very things that make boxing what they are, is what is going to hurt it. Its extreme specialization is how it's going to be disrupted. You saw it in those little glimpses. And then when he dropped him, he dropped him. He hurt him, he dropped him, and when you fall back with your arms out, not covering up, not trying to land, you got dropped, son. You got dropped. And Paulie got dropped. Sorry about this, all this adjustment. Paulie got dropped hard, landed hard, probably was concussed, and threw a little temper tantrum. And it's nothing personal. I don't get into this personal stuff. You sent the vids already, Colin? Thanks, brother. Well, me and Mark will set that up tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, that's wicked. So yeah, we'll play around with it a little bit. There's, I'm explaining to you what some of the heavy things to see are. The weight. It's a video. Don't open it, Robin. It's a video of his dick, says my friend here. But that weight on the front leg, And the reach, the distance, the overextension, these are all incorrect in boxing. They are the very reason that McGregor landed them on Paulie, because if they are incorrect, you don't train them. Your training partners don't do it. Your coaches don't do it. Your coaches look at it, and instead of going, that's different and potentially dangerous, all these boxing coaches go, oh, God, look at McGregor. He overextends. His head's way stuck on that front leg. He's reaching. These are all wrong. Look at his bad boxing form. Guy, my friend Russ that I worked with, I'm going to be working all week in Vegas. He was like, that boxing looked terrible. They tied the gloves wrong. You know, they didn't even know all. He was talking about the rituals of boxing, how to use the towel and how they, talk to each other after rounds. It's like, motherfucker, that is where you are being disrupted. All these bullshit rituals. And I've used this example before. When we get into an elevator, we get in, gently nod at the people, press the button, we stand back, we look up. We don't say anything. At the end, we nod again, and we leave. None of that is necessary. The only thing necessary is getting in, pressing the button, and leaving. All that other shit, that's just human ritualism, ritualistic nature. We do stuff because we've always done it. That's what boxing does. That's what boxing does. That's what it is going to continue to do, and that's why McGregor has a very real chance of winning. So just a little quick couple of thoughts. Don't be hard on Paulie Malignaggi. He was in there. It's going to happen to all these guys. They're all going to believe this idea that McGregor doesn't know what he's doing until he wins that fight. And then they're all going to say that Mayweather was old or he got lucky. But this is all by design. And it is fascinating to see. And it's really exciting to be able to see it and to be able to share with you guys what we're seeing, because it's a moment in time. Whether McGregor wins or not, this is a fascinating case study on disruption, on how to take the things, the stable platforms that make something what it is, and use that against it. And it really, really is fucking cool. So today is Saturday. You could be watching this anytime. It could be Thursday. Happy Thursday. It could be the day before McGregor Mayweather. If it is, that's cool. But if you are watching this with me Saturday morning, Sunday morning or Sunday early afternoon, we will get that footage in and we'll play around with it and do a couple other little things so you can see it. But in a very, very exciting time. Trust me, I dedicated my life to this. I'm telling you what you're seeing. Whether he wins or not, this is what you're seeing. And it's really cool, and it's a thrill. It's a privilege for me to be able to share this stuff with you guys. Love you guys. It's an exciting time, man. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to be there all week long. Blackout.